Hi, everybody. Happy Friday Eve. It is time for the Weather Impact Show. This Thursday, you know, a lot of kids heading back to school this week. It's kind of sad, right?
It's also exciting, though. That's a big deal. I know parents are really excited for it.
Oh, yeah.
I probably would be as well if I was a parent. But it's looking pretty hot out there, too. So that, I guess, could be concerning for the kiddos out there. Just want to make sure they're okay.
Yeah, thankfully no heat alerts in place or anything that would delay the start of school, which is good. But at least we're getting a little bit of a break from that rain. I mean, last couple of days we had some scattered storms in the afternoon.
I'm still thinking about that thunder that woke us up overnight.
That was
crazy.
Craziness. I mean, I like a good thunderstorm, but not when I get woken up at like midnight.
Just when you're just sleeping, a consistent sleep. That's what we want.
Exactly. Well, we want to talk about the forecast because as the kids are heading home from school today, I just know the weather looks a lot better than it did yesterday. And welcome back to school to all the schools. Whitehall, we had Worthington, Upper Arlington, a lot of excitement, you know, but sometimes you're just not ready, especially when the weather is still at that level where you could be at the pool or out hiking or camping. But that UV index this afternoon going to be right around 8. So just a reminder, we're in that high to very high category. And we're going to stay that way, even though you might be thinking, well, it's a little bit cooler. Is that going to help us out? Well, enjoy the cooler weather per se, because as we go the rest of the weekend into the weekend, our weather impact will be the heat building back in as well as the humidity. But for now, we're doing pretty good. Although there's still humidity. You're going to still notice it as you head out the door, but just not as bad as it was a couple of days ago. And you can see the second half of the day that temperatures are going to be going back down, and eventually we'll be into the 70s again overnight, maybe even some upper 60s as we go into your Friday morning. We had the fog this morning. That's cleared out. But hey, parents, if your kids are back to school and you have the day off, I give you a go for golf today, tomorrow, Saturday. Book those tee times or, you know, whatever you might want to be doing. Anything outdoors looks good. If you're going to be outdoors for long periods of time, just don't forget the sunscreen. Lots of water. Make sure the kids' water bottles are all filled up every day, too, ready to go. But I'll walk you through this morning. You can see we had some fog out there. Not surprised if we have a stray shower or storm out there this afternoon. But as we go into tonight, you can see, I'll stop the clock here at 8, that we'll have some clouds out there around sunset. So it should be beautiful and stunning. And don't forget, you can always tag me in a photo and you might see your community get a shout out on the morning show tomorrow. But as we go into overnight and Friday, you'll notice a lot less clouds for us Friday morning and even into the afternoon. We are looking at seeing very minimal chances of rain over the next couple of days. So what does that mean? Well, we're going to finally have a break. But as we go into next week, as you'll notice, that's when our next chance of rain is. But for right now, we're going to focus on the heat building in. We are going to have conditions become a lot more hot and a lot more humid before the weekend is over. And then once we get into the beginning of the week, you'll notice a nice cool down, which I don't know about you. I love summer, but when it's so hot and so humid, if it's going to be like that, I'd rather be in the tropics.
I know. We struggle a lot with the humidity. So I'm just like, I always go to her every morning. Okay, what does it look like right now? How is my hair acting?
This is true. We'll touch up our hair every morning.
Yeah.
So if you have longer hair, you know exactly what we're talking about. And if you don't, you're a lucky person.
You're a smart person with that one, too.
Very smart. Well, we want to have some continuing coverage on storms that hit central Ohio early on Wednesday. You might remember this, but lightning strikes actually shut down a Hilliard City pool. The city posted to Facebook its interactive pool at the Family Aquatic Center is now closed, unfortunately, for the rest of the season. That's after the city says the pool's pump system failed. They say it was likely caused by lightning, and it's unclear how long it will take to fix that issue.
It's a bummer out there. And now to Polaris, where we're learning more about a fire at an apartment complex that's forced dozens of people out of their homes. It happened right here at the Avenue at Polaris around 1 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. And investigators think the fire started with also a lightning strike. 10 TV's Chris McFarland was at the scene and has the very latest.
Hours after a fire broke out at an apartment complex, work is underway to fix that damage, including the extensive damage from a caved-in roof.
Burnt wood and ashes mark the site of an overnight fire that tore through the avenue at Polaris. The Columbus Division of Fire says their crews battled a large fire with flames shooting from the roof on the 3rd floor. And now nearly 50 people are without a home. One of them is Sandeep Garofalo, who just moved to the United States. He says he was up late finishing work when the power suddenly went out. Moments later, the smell of smoke filled his apartment. Sandeep grabbed his sleeping toddler and rushed outside.
That was too scary. I mean, fortunately, I was not in sleep. It's unimaginable what could have gone wrong. So if this incident happened at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., it would have been miserable.
Now, at the moment, it's unclear when residents will be able to go back into their homes as the damage is still being assessed. Reporting from Polaris, Kristen McFarland, 10 TV News.
Wow. I mean, we were just talking, you just never know. And sometimes the lightning is so vivid, it can strike anywhere at any time.
Yeah, you think oftentimes we think about these breaking news situations and these fires, which we often cover. You never really think Mother Nature has a play in that too, but it can happen, as we see.
She can be nasty at times, that's for sure. Well, while the cleanup continues from our wild weather, it's not just Ohio that's dealing with the storms. We've had torrential rain, flash flooding, and dangerous glacial runoff. And the first predicted hurricane of the 2025 Atlantic season. Gosh, it's been a week of wild weather reports across part of the U.S., with more to come in the days ahead. Laura Agier reports.
I'm a little shaky.
Hamilton County, Tennessee resident Yelena Butler happy to be on dry, high ground after rescuers pulled her car to safety from rushing floodwaters.
It's just really scary.
Torrential rains in and around Chattanooga Tuesday made it the second wettest day on record for the city, in some cases making it hard to tell if vehicles were driving or floating down the highway.
I don't even know how to explain it. It was just, I've never seen anything like this.
Water rescue teams used boats to reach people and pets trapped in their homes and vehicles. County officials say 3 people, including a child, were killed when a tree fell on their car in the suburb of Eastridge. More storms are expected for the area today, risking more flash floods on deeply saturated ground. In Alaska, a gushing glacier has prompted a preemptive state disaster declaration. Authorities say glacial runoff into what's called Suicide Basin overflowed into Mendenhall Lake and River, which crested earlier today at a high of over 16.5 feet. Juneau City leaders warned people living within the river's flood zone to leave Tuesday night, but stopped short of mandatory orders. Another force of nature is brewing in the Atlantic Ocean, Tropical Storm Erin. Meteorologists predict it could become the first hurricane of the season, potentially a major one over the coming days. They're tracking it to pass north of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic early next week, but say it's still too early to know if or where Erin would hit the U.S. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
And finally, we do have some new video into us here at 10 TV. Some pretty cool stuff going on here too, man.
Yeah, you know, I always love these videos. Well, check this out. You can call it sheer madness in Chicago's West Loop this week. A sheep, get this, breaking loose from a slaughterhouse, causing quite the commotion with people following the animal with their phone to see what was going on. Now, the videos have since gone viral on TikTok. The sheep was eventually cornered by Chicago Animal Care and Control, is now living out his life at a chicken rescue nonprofit. Oh, this is a great story, a happy ending on Chicago's South Side, but let me tell you, that was a bad sheep.
Wow. Wow. That was good. That was good. I just didn't expect it. That was pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie.
I could see Ben shaking his head in the control.
Yeah, our director, he's like, wow, what am I doing? All right, that was pretty good, I will say. And finally, we do have, of course, heat around the world, and especially in Rome. Animals at a zoo have been given frozen treats to help them out and cool them off at the Italian capital, just sizzling with some scorching heat wave on Tuesday. So their Ministry of Health has issued a red alert day. That's the highest level of heat warning, as temperatures were expected to reach about 38 degrees. That's about 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
No thanks.
Yeah, no thank you. It's been consecutive too over Tuesday and Wednesday, posing serious health risks to humans and animals alike. So the zookeepers distributed iced fruit and veggies to the herbivores of the zoo, such as lemurs and frozen meat or fish to tigers and seals.
Did you see that video of the tiger and the kid was there? At first I was like, I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, there's got to be glass, because there's no way that kid's feeding a tiger.
I wouldn't do that. I don't know. Where's the parent? I don't know what's going on.
There's glass there, but I mean, at first glance, I was like,
yeah. We were talking about the iced fruit. What do you think they were giving them?
I don't know, but I love iced fruit.
Italian ice, maybe?
Oh, in Italy. Look at this.
You're not the only one with jokes here.
I know. 2 peas in a pod, and this is what you get to deal with on
I know,
Thursday.
yeah.
We're ready for the weekend, and we hope you are too.
Absolutely.
Well, stay cool, my friends. Stay connected, and just know that coming up tonight, we have meteorologist Michael Behrens in for Jerry Martz. He will have the latest weather updates for your weekend, but until then, just know you can always catch more online or on 10 TV+.